the job market is shifting again with more layoffs, a growing concern that AI is to blame. Now, a lot of people fear it's the beginning of the end for white-collar work, but is that fear justified? Well, our next guest says Canadians can use AI to become more productive and valuable at work. He says he's got some practical examples of that as well. Who am I talking about? It's Mark Ting. He's back. Mark, of course, is our guide to personal finance, and he's a partner with Foundation Wealth. Mark, hello there.
Hi.
Was that AI that wrote that introduction saying our next guest?
That's all Mark.
That's all Mark. Okay. Well, this
or
is
all you, I guess.
Interesting time. So when companies lay off workers, they often blame a poor economy or AI productivity. How worried should we be about losing our jobs to technology?
Well, technology is not a new thing. Like, people have adapted to technology for decades, like centuries, really. So imagine the first tractor being pulled down and farmers looking at that and thinking, okay, we're done. So, I mean, we've seen that with the wheel. We've seen that with the internet. We've seen that with mobile phones. AI is a little bit different because what a lot of people are focusing on is not so much the blue-collar jobs, but the white-collar jobs. So it's an intellect. So now we have these mega, super intelligent, accessible information at our disposal. Everybody has it. And now the concern is out there that if I spent maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars going to school to be super specialized, I can be replaced with just a gadget. So what I think will happen is adoption. You either adopt or you don't. So there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. Whoever adopts to this technology, uses it, just like any other technology, is probably going to thrive. And those who don't are going to fall behind.
Well, it's curious, though. It's a different skill set, though, right? I mean, workers have always stood out, whether it's their experience or their education. Maybe it's their hustle. Do those kinds of qualities still matter in an AI-driven world?
I'd say more than ever. Particularly the hustle and the drive. So I think what people will have to do during the adoption of this or the adaptation of this skill set is they're going to have to actually go out there and try to figure this out. There's not many universities or schools out there that are actively teaching this, but you can learn about this on the web, YouTube, podcasts. It's really accessible. You just have to go out there and get it. And then you got to think about how it's going to work for your own industry and how you can put a moat around yourself to make yourself employable. So education is also going to be important, as well as experience, because the other thing about this, I think, is connections, networking, very important. So those skills are still going to be there. It's just the person that can put it all together is going to do very well.
Well, okay. So if someone was worried about their job or maybe considering changing jobs, how could they consider using AI to help them stand out?
So we go based on the assumption that everyone has skills. Like if I went and I spoke to AI, LLM, and said, look, this is what I'm good at. These are my skill sets. This is what I do at my job right now. Can you set me up with a plan where I can learn how to improve them, how to use AI, incorporate them into what I do now, and set that up like on a daily or weekly basis so that I actually have an action plan to do this. Could be doing exercising, learning new technologies, listening to podcasts. It'll actually set you out a lesson plan on how to do that. So by doing that, a couple things happened. One, you're well-versed in it. You got a bunch more tools. So if layoffs do happen, because they probably will, because there is going to be some disruptions in the community, in the economy, that you have that moat around you. You can use those tools already. And so you keep your job, is what I'm saying. The employer thinks you as more valuable. They're getting more revenue per employee, and that's what you are. You're valuable. You'll probably get a pay raise. Or let's say you do get laid off. Well, now you have a whole bunch of different new skills that you can go out there and you can maybe freelance. So I do believe what's going to happen is we're going to see a whole new set of entrepreneurs. There's a million of problems we have out there to solve, right? And with a million problems, there's lots of people that need to solve them, and that's where entrepreneurs come in, and that's where they can monetize it. And that's why I think the economy will shift in that way.
Who are you going to call? I mean, what do you think the job market is going to look like? Let's say 5 years down the road.
Very different. So I think we're coming across two massive trends. One is a demographic trend. So we're talking about employees who are leaving the workforce because they're older. Baby boomers, they're retiring. And then we have lower birth rates across most Western countries, Asia. So That's a problem. So the expectation is, well, we can fix this with immigration, or what's going to likely happen is AI and robotics are going to take over those jobs that are being left. So with immigration, it's a bit harder because a lot of them won't have the skill set that, say, the baby boomers who have those skill sets are leaving. So that's why AI is going to be there. Now, let's say we're using AI in our economy, and it's going to drive costs down. A major example would be transportation. So self-driving trucks, cars, all that seeps through the economy and prices come down for that, like food, everything. So now those things, there's that part of it. But the other part of it is you have to build these factories, which we're seeing now. We're seeing these companies investing trillions of dollars to build out these data centers, and robots are going to be built. So that's going to create a whole new different level of jobs. So I do foresee a very different economy 5 years from now. It's going to be based around AI and robotics, but still the legacy industries will still be there.
Yeah, no, you can't help but feel that change is inevitable. I mean, I get your point there, but how concerned should we be about a future in which AI and robots, take over the economy? I mean, is that just science fiction, or are there reasons to actually fear that?
Yeah, it depends on what type of job you have right now. Like transportation, I think for sure is going to be disrupted. We all heard those stories, or we think about Skynet or Terminator, and that's the worst case scenario. And that's a possibility. Like, we're not ruling that out. But most people will gravitate towards all the negatives things about AI, losing jobs, Starnet taking over, and that. But I'd look at a lot of the positive things, and I think there's going to be way more positives than negatives. So as I mentioned, lots of problems in the world that will be solved. AI is working towards a couple different things. One is abundance of free intelligence, which we're talking about, which we see the cost of lawyers, accounting, opening businesses going down to almost zero. We're also looking at models where there's going to be an abundance of energy, literally free, unlimited energy, often using solar power. So if you can imagine a world like that, if we're usually constrained by energy, like all of our climate change issues are constrained by energy. Food production, fresh water. If we had free, unlimited energy, we could desalinate the waters of unlimited fresh water. We could grow literal forests and deserts. So I would actually say the chances of this sort of utopia type of a world where there's an abundance of things is just as likely as, say, the Skynet version. And what's actually going to happen is we'll probably end up somewhere in the middle.